Never apologize for being a powerful woman. The world needs strong women. Women who will lift and build others, who will love and be loved, women who live bravely, both tender and fierce, women of indomitable will. Each time a woman stands up for herself, she stands up for all women. A woman is the full circle. Within her is the power to create, nurture and transform. We need women at all levels, including the top, to change the dynamic, reshape the conversation, to make sure women's voices are heard and heeded, not overlooked and ignored. A strong woman is a woman determined to do something others are determined not be done. I figure, if a girl wants to be a legend, she should go ahead and be one. A strong woman stands up for herself. A stronger woman stands up for everybody else. And one day she discovered that she was fierce and strong and full of fire, and that not even she could hold herself back because her passion burned brighter than her fears. She was powerful not because she wasn't scared, but because she went on so strongly, despite the fear. One of the most courageous things you can do is identify yourself, know who you are, what you believe in and where you want to go. Avoiding danger is no safer in the long run than outright exposure. The fearful are caught as often as the bold. Helen Keller, I have learned over the years that when one's mind is made up, this diminishes fear, knowing what must be done does away with fear. We need women who are so strong they can be gentle, so educated they can be humble, so fierce they can be compassionate, so passionate they can be rational, and so disciplined they can be free. Strong women don't play the victim. Don't make themselves look pitiful and don't point fingers. They stand and they deal. I just love bossy women. I could be around them all day. To me, bossy is not a pejorative term at all. It means somebody's passionate and engaged and ambitious and doesn't mind learning. A woman with a voice is by definition a strong woman. But the search to find that voice can be remarkably difficult. Life is not easy for any of us. But what of that? We must have perseverance and, above all, confidence in ourselves. We must believe we are gifted for something and that this thing must be attained. Above all, be the heroine of your life, not the victim. Be a first-rate version of yourself, not a second-rate version of someone else. Once you figure out what respect tastes like, it tastes better than attention. A strong woman understands that the gifts such as logic, decisiveness, and strength are just as feminine as intuition and emotional connection. She values and uses all of her gifts. You have to have confidence in your ability, and then be tough enough to follow through. Be strong enough to stand alone, smart enough to know when you need help, and brave enough to ask for it. Figure out who are you separate from your family, and the man or woman you're in a relationship with. Find who you are in this world and what you need to feel good alone. I think that's the most important thing in life. Find a sense of self. With that, you can do anything else. The woman who follows the crowd will usually go no further than the crowd. The woman who walks alone is likely to find herself in places no one has ever been before. Don't let anyone speak for you, and don't rely on others to fight for you. I believe in being strong when everything seems to be going wrong. I believe that happy girls are the prettiest girls. I believe that tomorrow is another day, and I believe in miracles. Women are like tea bags. We don't know our true strength until we are in hot water. You must know that you can do this. You are strong. And you will make it. Just hang on and keep believing in yourself, always. Everyone has inside of her a piece of good news. The good news is that you don't know how great you can be, how much you can love, what you can accomplish, and what your potential is. A really strong woman accepts the war she went through and is ennobled by her scars. The question isn't who's going to let me, it's who's going to stop me. Always aim high, work hard, and care deeply about what you believe in. And, when you stumble, keep faith. And, when you're knocked down, get right back up and never listen to anyone who says you can't or shouldn't go on. I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Be strong and courageous. Do not be frightened, and do not be dismayed, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. Declare over yourself, God has not given me a spirit of fear, but of power, love and a sound mind. Doubt is a killer. You just have to know who you are and what you stand for. Think like a queen. A queen is not afraid to fail. Failure is another stepping stone to greatness. I've come to believe that each of us has a personal calling that's as unique as a fingerprint, and that the best way to succeed is to discover what you love and then find a way to offer it to others in the form of service, working hard, and also allowing the energy of the universe to lead you. Take criticism seriously, but not personally. If there is truth or merit in the criticism, try to learn from it. Otherwise, let it roll right off you. The most important relationship in your life is the one you have with yourself. If you don't love yourself, you will always be chasing after people who don't love you either. Taking care of yourself doesn't mean me first, it means me too. Rest when you're weary. Refresh and renew yourself, your body, your mind, and your spirit. Then get back to work. Self-care is never a selfish act, it is simply good stewardship of the only gift I have, the gift I was put on earth to offer others. Caring for myself is not self-indulgence, it is self-preservation, and that is an act of political warfare. To love oneself is the beginning of a lifelong romance. There is no greater act of self-love than to accept ourselves exactly as we are. The greatest act of self-care is to believe that we are worthy of care. Self-care is how we recharge our battery so that we can show up for others. I am my own experiment. I am my own work of art. Solitude is where I place my chaos to rest and awaken my inner peace. There is power in allowing yourself to be vulnerable and admitting that you're not perfect. Have patience with all things. But, first of all, with yourself. Above all, be true to yourself, and if you cannot put your heart in it, take yourself out of it. Breathe. Let go. And remind yourself that this very moment is the only one you know you have for sure. The most important thing is to enjoy your life, to be happy, it's all that matters. In order to love who you are, you cannot hate the experiences that shaped you. You yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection. If you want to be happy, be. The greatest wealth is to live content with little. Happiness doesn't depend on any external conditions, it is governed by our mental attitude. It's more than a bath, it's a transformative experience. You're searching for buoyancy in the soul, and spring in your step. You have been criticizing yourself for years and it hasn't worked. Try approving of yourself and see what happens. How you love yourself is how you teach others to love you. The greatest thing in the world is to know how to belong to oneself. If we could see ourselves through the eyes of others, we would treat ourselves much more kindly. If you don't love yourself, you cannot love others. You will not be able to love others. I repeat, if you do not love yourself first, it is impossible for you to love others. If your compassion does not include yourself, it is incomplete. The greatest journey in this life is the journey back to ourselves. Part of self-care is self-forgiveness. Self-love has very little to do with how you feel about your outer self. It's about accepting all of yourself. If you can learn to love yourself and all the flaws, you can love other people so much better. And that makes you so happy. The most powerful relationship you will ever have is the relationship with yourself. Self-care is never a selfish act, it is simply good stewardship of the only gift I have, the gift I was put on earth to offer other. Caring for myself is not self-indulgence, it is self-preservation, and that is an act of political warfare. I think the reward for conformity is that everyone likes you except yourself.